Hi, this is Karen O'Brien, and I'd like to help you get your computer set up for the 2022 FMA Storm Surge Modeling Workshop. So this page will help you get your data and install your data onto your computer. So step one will be to get the data, get the installers. You'll just need all 4 of these and an activator. So if you click on this link, it'll take you to a share file where you'll need to add your name and information because I'm trying to keep bots out of here. You don't have to put all this stuff in here, I don't think, but okay. And then I'll click continue and then select all and then start the download. That should go straight to your download folder and it's going to be called files.zip. So once you get into your download folder, you'll have something like this, files.zip, and you're just going to want to extract that. So if you are a fan of 7-zip, go ahead and extract it here. Or you can just use extract all and it'll extract it. Make sure you extract it someplace safe so you remember where it is. Once you get this extracted, this one right here will also be zipped, the FLO-2D setup build 21, that will also be zipped. So before you extract some of these, be careful, make sure maybe before you extract them, you can come in here and you can click files, go to properties, and then right here, there might be a little unblock button. So just go ahead and do that. Once you get this one extracted, you're going to want to just run it. And I'm going to go ahead and try to run through it now. So let's minimize this. And I already have FLO-2D on my computer, so I'm going to show you the way to reinstall. But in your case, if you're a first-time FLO-2D user, or if you're just getting it set up on your laptop, I'll show you the way to do it fully. So you will need admin rights. So very important to make sure you're an admin on your computer. Over here, you want to click no. You don't want it to be silent. Next, agree to the terms. And now I am running a install on a computer that's already running FLO-2D. So I'm just going to uncheck a couple of things. Get the FLO-2D folder, the FLO-2D documentation, and you will need these guys as well. I don't need them because I'm already running them. But just note that if you choose to run these, you will need them if you're a brand new user or a brand new install, you will need them. But the last one that runs might trigger might trigger your computer to restart. So I'll just click next and install, and it's going to run all those embedded installers. If you get an error about DAO, data access objects, not installing, just run the installer again and uncheck map objects. You don't need GDS anyway, so just uncheck map objects and then it'll skip the GDS installation. So I'm going to click finish and show you what this does. So if you are a brand new user to FLO-2D, that will put the data on your computer in a couple of places. So if you go to C drive, program files x86, you'll see here that you have FLO-2D Pro, and it has all the programs you need for running FLO-2D. This is of course probably not activated. And then you'll also get C drive users. Where did it go? C drive users public documents, and then you have also FLO-2D Pro documentation. So what I like to do is I like to add this to my quick access so that I can get in there real quick. And then of course you can remove that once the class is over. And then you'll get your manuals and PowerPoint presentations for classes and things that we give, stuff like that. I'm not going to put a whole lot of detail into this. Let's just keep moving on. Okay, the next thing that you want to download, the next thing that you want to run will be the workshop, the 2022 workshop data installer. So just double click that. It does not require admin rights, I hope. And it's going to put all of the information you need for the class on your computer. So I'm going to just click install. It's pretty big. It's a very large install, so I might pause the movie until it's done or pause the video until it's done. Okay, this one is complete and it keeps you you can track it with a log, but it's not really going to mean anything to you. So just go ahead and click close. And what we just gave you is, if I go back here again to C drive, users, public, public documents, Flow2D Pro documentation, you now see, if you're going to example projects, you now see that you have this right here. While you're in here, go ahead and turn this into a quick access link, because we'll be in and out of this the whole project. So this is all of your project material that you'll need for this project that we're going to work on during the workshop. Okay, now let me get back to my download folder because we need to run through a couple more things. You should also have been given an FMA Workshop Activator. Okay, so if you didn't get this FMA Workshop Activator, go back to the email, your setup email, it'll be in there, or get a hold of me, Karen at FLO-2D.com, and I'll make sure that you have access to this. This is a quick, easy install. It does require admin rights. You just run this install, and now it's ready to go. It's that fast. If you are already have an activator, don't run this one, because your activators probably last longer than this one. This one only lasts 90 days. What else do we have here? The Flow2D setup. No, we did that one. Oh, the next one is this one. Now, if you're already running QGIS, you might have a folder on your desktop that looks like this. You don't have to replace it. Just stick with it. 3.22 and higher long-term release is the one we want to run. Okay, if you have one that's newer than that, that's probably also fine. Don't have to replace it. If you need to replace it, let's just see what happens. I'm going to double click it. I'm running 3.22.7. This is 3.22.9. Let's just see what happens. Might have to pause this as things progress. I'll go ahead and pause it until it's ready. Okay, so it takes a bit of time to compute the space requirements. And this is just accepting all the licenses of all the data that it's going to put on your computer. Keep clicking next. It looks like it's going to put it into its own folder. So your 3.22.7 would still be fine. So I'll just go ahead and run it just to show you the process. And then I might uninstall one of the other ones later. Don't like to get too many versions of QGIS on your computer, because then you start mixing and matching them and it's kind of a pain. If anything important comes up, I will continue the recording, but I think for now I'll pause it. Okay, so yeah, here we go. Here's something important. So yes, we need to give it admin rights. And I'll pause. Okay, here we go. Validating the installer. So now it's just unpackaging the installer. I'll pause till it's done. Okay, so it looks like it's just setting up some scripts, validating the installer, copying new files. So now this is kind of like into the meat of the installer. It is a 1 gigabyte installer, so just go ahead and let it take its time. Doing its registration, so that's adding all of the detail to the regex. And I'm going to go ahead and pause this until it's complete. Well, until it needs to do something else that you might need to know. Okay, so once it finished its process, there wasn't anything special that you needed to know. It just finished. So the default installation looks like it's a good idea. And then of course it did put like an entirely new version of QGIS on my computer. So if you already are running QGIS and you just did an update just like I did, you might want to go to C drive, program files, and then you'll see that you have 2 QGISs in here. So you might, and this is the new one, and this is the old one. And I don't know why, but they removed the uninstall app out of this standalone installers. So I'm going to see if I can't remove that from here. So let's just try add or remove programs. Oh, geez. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get that out of there, because it does get big. So let's see, search QGIS. Yeah, let's get rid of this one. Uninstall. Yeah, that one's big too. I don't know. Oh, that's the newer one. Let's just get rid of this one. I'm just going to click uninstall. And it looks like it does have an uninstall app in there. You just I don't know, for whatever reason, it was just kind of hidden. So again, I'll pause until something important happens. Okay, so it just looks like it's ready to apply the uninstall. Needed to have some admin requirements, and I probably just pause again until it's finished or until it needs something else answered. Okay, so it looks like when it's done, it just kind of disappears. Nothing special happened, but you can see in here that most of this stuff is gone. So I will just take this guy and I will delete it. It requires admin rights. And there was just a little bit of data left over in there. And you could do the same thing if you had another version, you could do that as well. But I think I'll just leave that one alone because I want to get back into this process. So close that, go back to the download where I keep my installers. And I think that's it for like the installers. Everything else should be done from within QGIS. So now I'll open QGIS and I'll just go ahead and run this guy right here, this desktop version. And then while that is starting, I'm going to pause the recording until it's open because it usually takes a bit of time the first time you run it. Okay, so now the first time, now this is when you need to hand the control over to the user. So if you've been following me as IT so far, now you need to hand control back over to the user, because if you do this next step, then the user is going to have to do it again. Okay, so this goes into your personal profile. That's why the user needs to do this. So the first thing we'll do is go to Settings, Options, and then CRS. So you might need to expand this. Click CRS. This should be default, but make sure that your coordinate system comes from the first layer you add, and make sure that this one is not default. Make sure that if you load data that doesn't have a projection, make sure that it uses the project coordinate system, and then just click OK. Now, if you're on a laptop and things look a little funny, I do have some help for how to set up your laptop. So let me just go right here real quick. So if you're in setup, or actually I take that back. Let's continue on because that other thing I was going to tell you is not in the setup. So let's try some. Let's just continue on. So as you can see, I already have my FLO-2D plugin, but I'm going to show you how to add yours. So plugins, manage and install plugins. Now I already have all these. That's perfectly fine. So you want to start with quick, and you want to try quick map services, and go ahead and you're going to see an install or reinstall, whatever. I don't need an update, so I'm just going to leave it alone. And then I also want to add profile tool. Okay, profile tool, same thing. If it requires an update, you're going to be able to update it here. Otherwise, just install it, and you just add the profile tool to your computer. Okay, now the final thing you're going to do is change to install from zip, and then you want to navigate to your download folder, as you can see, or wherever you installed or wherever you're keeping your installers for the class, and just click on this and click open, and then click install plugin. If you're already running one, you might be running 10.65 or 10.3, whatever, and now this is ready to go. If you go back to installed and you just turn off that little search guy, then you can see that your plugin will be 10.66, and here's the change log for 10.66, 10.65, etc. Profile tool also has your change log right here, and Quick Map Services also has a change log. So you can close that because you're pretty much done with that. And the next thing you want to do is, because this is your Quick Map Services, it's the globe with the little plus sign. These might not be in the same order until the next time you open it, but just so you know, the one with the little plus, click on that and then go to settings. This is super important, okay, because you need this contribution pack. So go ahead and just get the contribution pack and then go to visibility. And I don't like to do visibility of any of these other layers. So I just go to visibility, click on Google, and then click save. And then when you click on this, you'll see that you can add your a Google Hybrid or whatever to your map. Okay, let's see what's next. Let me just make sure that I finished everything on the setup page. Okay, so we ran the Flow2D installer. There's some extra information here. If you don't want to deal with your IT and you want to just have complete control of this class, feel free to bring your own laptop. Just make sure it's a halfway decent laptop, because as you can see, these installers are huge. Okay, so we already showed you how to do the Flow2D setup, how to run it. Yeah, click no for silent, all that. Then we did the FMA Workshop data installer and showed you how to do that. Showed you how to run the 3.22.9, and then I need to update this video, so I'll update this image before before you see this, so you'll see 3.22.7. We did the coordinate reference system. We added the plugins, quick map services, profile tool. I think I left that one off of here. And then settings and all that. These are all GIFs and they're really nice and handy. Then we already did the quick access, but this shows you how to do it in case you missed it. And that is all you need for the setup. So once your computer is ready, why don't you go ahead and give me a call and we'll make sure that we'll do a quick run through with you, make sure that everything is on and that you did everything right. Okay, so good luck with your training class and thank you for attending.